The late afternoon rain beat a steady rhythm on the tin roof of the small garage in Portland, Oregon. Eric Daniels was wiping grease from his work-worn hands when he picked up on the sound of a motorcycle engine sputtering before it went silent just outside. Peering through the rain-streaked window, he saw a woman clad in a black leather jacket. Her dark hair was drenched from the downpour as she stood beside a vintage Harley-Davidson, her shoulders trembling slightly in the cold. She wasn't yelling for assistance or desperately making a call. She just remained there, caught in the storm. Eric knew that feeling all too well, being alone with broken machinery and fractured hopes. He pushed the door open and walked out into the rain. Neither of them could have known that this one act of kindness was about to change their destinies forever. He was a man who had lost nearly everything that mattered: his wife, his ambitions, and his belief in love. She was a woman who seemingly had it all: wealth, influence, and recognition, but lacked anyone truly genuine in her life. It is often in the most unforeseen meetings that life's greatest blessings are found. Eric Daniels, at 34, was the proprietor of Daniels Auto Care on a quiet street nestled among cozy cafes and antique shops. His garage was modest, with just enough space for 2 cars, but it was impeccably clean and organized. The walls were adorned with letters of appreciation from customers and a single faded photograph of a younger Eric with his arm around a woman with a crown of intricate braids and a smile that could light up a room. 2 years prior, his wife, Maya, had lost her battle with breast cancer at only 29. Eric could still vividly recall her last nights in the hospital, how she held his hand and whispered, "Teach Zara to be kind, and don't you forget to love yourself again." After her passing, he moved through life on autopilot, caring for his daughter, working, sleeping, and repeating the cycle. In those initial months, he often forgot to eat or get a haircut, until his 6-year-old daughter, Zara, asked him, "Daddy, why don't you smile like you did when Mommy was here?" For her, Eric had learned to live once more. His day began at 6, brewing coffee and making breakfast for Zara, usually pancakes shaped like hearts or toast with fluffy scrambled eggs. The little girl would sit in her high chair, her legs dangling, recounting her dreams. "Daddy, I dreamed Mommy taught me how to make cookies. She said, 'You're great at fixing cars, but you're a terrible baker.'" Eric would let out a laugh, a familiar ache in his chest. Maya had been right about that. She always found a way to make him smile, even in her absence. The garage opened at 8. Eric wasn't a wealthy man, and his clientele consisted mainly of working-class folks, cab drivers, delivery people, and students with well-loved cars. He offered fair prices and frequently waived labor fees for families going through hard times. If a customer said they couldn't pay until their next paycheck, Eric would just nod in understanding. He sometimes even paid for parts out of his own pocket for those who were truly struggling. In the afternoons, Eric would pick Zara up from school. She would settle into a corner of the garage to do her homework, sometimes asking him about the machinery. "What does this part do, Daddy?" she'd ask, pointing to a transmission. "It helps the car change speeds, sweetie." A lot like our feelings, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, but always needing gentle care, he would reply, his hands skillfully turning a wrench. Evenings after Zara was asleep, Eric would often sit in their small backyard with a beer, staring up at the star-dusted Portland sky. He hadn't pursued a relationship since Maya's death, not from a lack of loneliness, but from a place of fear. He was terrified of loving someone only to lose them again, terrified of Zara growing attached to someone who might disappear. He feared his heart couldn't withstand another break. On weekends, they would wander through Powell's Books or Washington Park, Zara perched on his shoulders. She'd point at luxury cars and ask, "Daddy, when will you get to fix cars like those?" Eric would smile. "My little girl, the best cars aren't judged by their price tag. They're judged by the love the mechanic puts into them." He had no idea how profoundly those words would soon resonate in his own life. The small details of his existence spoke volumes about his character, the way he saved sandwich crusts for the neighborhood birds, how he taught Zara to be polite to everyone, the gentle manner in which he folded Maya's photograph each night and placed it in his nightstand, whispering, "Good night, my love," before switching off the light. His hands were perpetually stained with oil, yet they were tender when braiding Zara's hair or checking her for a fever. Eric carried his solitude like a well-worn coat, not the kind that makes a person bitter, but the kind that deepens their compassion. He understood what it felt like to need help, to be overlooked, to wonder if anyone truly saw you. And it was this understanding that made him notice the woman in the rain, not because she was beautiful, though she was, but because she looked as lost as he had felt 2 years ago. Selena Brooks, 31, was the CEO of Brooks Tech, a corporation valued at billions with its headquarters in San Francisco. Forbes had recently named her the Tech Queen Under 35. Her office occupied the 40th floor, offering a panoramic view of the San Francisco Bay, and was filled with expensive art and designer Italian furniture. Yet at night, Selena would often sit alone in her leather chair, gazing at the glittering city lights, feeling as hollow as the skyscraper she occupied. Just last week, she had ended her engagement to Julian Vance, the scion of a prominent Wall Street family. It wasn't a lack of affection, but the dawning realization that Julian was in love with her status, not her soul. "You know, Selena, when we get married, my portfolio will jump by at least 30%. Your company is the perfect complement to my family's investments," he had remarked over dinner at a Michelin-starred restaurant. Selena had put down her fork and met his gaze. "Do you even know my favorite color? Or my favorite food?" Julian had stammered, trying to laugh it off. Blue and sushi. The truth was, Selena despised sushi, and her favorite color was terracotta, the earthy shade of the New Mexico fields where she grew up. Selena came from a poor family. Her mother was a cleaner, her father a handyman. She had put herself through MIT on scholarships, working long hours at a coffee shop to get by. She recalled the sleepless nights spent coding, fueled by instant noodles and black coffee. Her only dream back then was to build software that helped people and to make enough money to send her parents traveling. When Brooks Tech took off, she accomplished that goal. Her parents now lived comfortably in Santa Fe, seeing the world. But with success came a growing distance from her true self. Her life became a series of endless meetings, superficial parties, and transactional relationships. Selena felt as though she were living in a glass box, admired by all but understood by none. This week, she had decided to vanish from San Francisco. She informed no one save for a quick call to her assistant. "I need 2 weeks. Cancel everything." Then she got on her Harley Davidson, a gift to herself for her 30th birthday that she'd never had time to ride, and headed north with no destination in mind, only a deep yearning to feel free. Selena rode along California's coastline and through Oregon's lush forests, feeling a sense of relief for the first time in years. No one was calling to ask for Miss Brooks's opinion on a deal. No one was scrutinizing her every move. She was just a woman on a motorcycle, the wind in her hair, breathing in the clean air. When she reached Portland that afternoon, the skies opened up. She pulled over to get her rain gear, and that's when the Harley quit on her. She tried to restart it several times to no avail. Her phone had been dead since that morning. She had intentionally not charged it, wanting a complete disconnect. Standing in the Portland rain, Selena felt a profound helplessness. Not because she couldn't fix the motorcycle, but because she realized she had forgotten how to ask a stranger for help. Looking around, she saw a warm glow emanating from a small garage across the street. Daniel's Auto Care, the old but neat sign read. For the first time in her life, Selena had to rely on a stranger's kindness, without her fame or fortune to pave the way. She didn't know it yet, but this was exactly what she had been searching for. "Having some trouble with your bike?" Eric asked as he stepped into the downpour, an oil-stained rag still in his hand. Selena turned, seeing his face clearly for the first time. It was a handsome face with strong features, but his eyes were remarkably gentle. "I'm not sure what's wrong," she said, her voice shaky from the cold. "It just stopped running." Eric looked over the Harley, then at Selena. She didn't fit the profile of his usual customers. Her clothes were simple, but of high quality, and the watch on her wrist was clearly expensive. Yet her eyes held a weariness, the look of someone who had journeyed a long, long way. "Come on inside." "You're soaked. Let me take a look at your bike." Inside the garage, Selena sat on a small plastic chair and watched Eric work. He examined each component with care, nodding or shaking his head slightly. "Fuel lines are clogged," he announced after about 15 minutes. "Probably from sitting too long. I can fix it, but we'll have to wait for this rain to let up." "How much will I owe you?" Selena asked, reaching for her purse. $50, Eric said without looking up. Selena was taken aback. In San Francisco, a repair like this would cost at least $200. "Are you sure? I can pay you more." Eric paused his work and gave her a curious look. "Why would you want to pay more?" "The job is worth $50. His simple question left her speechless. In her world, everything had a price, and a higher price signified quality, respect, and status. I just want to be sure you're compensated for good work." "You can judge my work by how the bike runs," Eric said, a smile touching his lips for the first time. "Not by the money." Just then, the sound of small footsteps echoed from the back. Zara appeared, her hair in pigtails, holding a sandwich. "Daddy, I'm hungry. Have you eaten yet?" Then she saw Selena, and her eyes lit up. "Hi! You're so pretty." Selena felt a genuine smile spread across her face for the first time in weeks. "Hello there. What's your name?" "I'm Zara. And this is my daddy," she said, pointing at Eric with pride. "My daddy is the best at fixing cars. He says cars are like people. They need love to run well." Eric's cheeks flushed. "Zara, your daddy's right," Selena said with sincerity. "I don't think I've been loving this bike enough." The rain didn't let up, so Eric invited Selena to stay for dinner. They had simple spaghetti and salad. Zara chattered on about school, her drawings, and her dream of becoming a veterinarian. Selena listened, captivated, experiencing a conversation that had nothing to do with profit margins or market strategies. "What do you do for work?" Zara asked with childlike innocence. Selena hesitated, unsure how to respond. I work with computers." "You know, like video games, things like that?" She laughed, realizing she had never described her job so simply before. When the rain finally stopped, Eric had finished with the bike. The Harley roared to life on the first try. "Thank you," Selena said, handing him the $50. Then she paused. Could I come back? I'll be in Portland for a few days." "The garage is always open," Eric replied, a warmth in his eyes that went beyond simple politeness. The next day, Selena returned, using the pretext of having her bike checked. She came back the day after that, claiming she wanted to learn some basic maintenance. Eric never questioned why a woman with such an expensive motorcycle knew nothing about its upkeep, and Selena never explained why she was extending her stay in Portland. Janice, the owner of the coffee shop next door, who often brought Eric coffee, saw Selena and smiled. "I haven't seen Eric this happy in a long time." Selena felt a blush rise to her cheeks, but a warmth spread through her chest. During the afternoons, Selena and Zara would play together in the garage. The little girl taught her how to draw, and Selena told Zara stories of her travels. "You've been to so many places," Zara said with a sigh. "I want to be just like you when I grow up." "No," Selena said softly. "You should grow up to be yourself. That's the most special thing you can be." Eric watched them, his heart stirring with emotions he thought were long buried. It had been ages since he had seen Zara so happy around another woman, and there was something different about Selena, not a manufactured mystery, but a genuine soul she seemed to be rediscovering herself. Their time together was filled with small, meaningful moments. Selena learned how to check tire pressure as Eric patiently guided her. Zara insisted Selena stay for lunch, proudly presenting her with a peanut butter sandwich made with extra love. The three of them would sit in the small backyard after dinner, Selena listening to Zara's bedtime stories while Eric cleaned his tools. Selena had never known such peaceful moments. There were no board meetings, no strategic plans, no one trying to impress her or use her. There was only simple, human connection. Eric's quiet strength, Zara's innocent joy, the satisfaction of working with her hands. She found herself laughing more, sleeping soundly, and feeling lighter than she had in years. But a shadow of guilt loomed over her. Every day she stayed was another day built on a lie. She wasn't just a woman who worked with computers. She was a billionaire CEO whose disappearance was likely causing chaos back in San Francisco. Yet whenever she thought about leaving, Zara would give her a goodnight hug, or Eric would flash her a smile, and Selena couldn't bring herself to break the spell. Eric, for his part, found himself eagerly anticipating Selena's daily visits. Her presence was healing. He loved the way she listened when he spoke of Maya, how she encouraged Zara's vibrant imagination, and her sincere interest in learning about engines. He hadn't felt this way since his wife passed, a feeling that was both exhilarating and terrifying. Everything came to a head on a Friday afternoon. Selena was playing with Zara in the garage when her phone began to ring nonstop. She had been ignoring it, but the 15th call finally made her answer. "Selena, thank God. Where are you?" It was Tasha, her assistant. "The board has called an emergency meeting. The stock has dropped 12% because no one knows where you are. The media is speculating that you're having health problems." Eric and Zara both looked up. Selena quickly tried to end the call, but it was too late. "Stock price? Board of directors?" Eric asked quietly. Selena looked down, knowing the charade was over. I need to explain." She told them everything about her company, her role as CEO, and why she had come to Portland. Eric listened in silence, his expression hardening. "So this was all just a game for you?" he finally asked. "No," Selena protested. "It wasn't like that. What I felt here with you and Zara, it's the most real thing I've ever had." "Most real." Eric stood up, his voice laced with bitterness. "You lied to us for a week. You let my daughter and me believe you were just a regular person. What's real about that?" Zara looked back and forth between the two adults, tears welling in her eyes. "Why are Daddy and Selena fighting?" Selena knelt down and took Zara's small hands. "Sweetheart, we're not fighting. It's just that she has to go back to where she belongs," Eric finished, his tone hard. "Zara, go inside the house." "But Daddy, go inside!" Zara ran inside, sobbing. Selena stood up, her own eyes red. "Eric, please let me explain." "Explain what?" he shot back, turning to face her, the pain evident in his eyes. "How you see us. Are we just some entertainment for you? Research for a memoir about how the other half lives?" "You know that's not true," Selena said, her voice trembling. "I don't know who you are," Eric replied. "The woman I thought I knew wouldn't lie for a whole week." You let us open our hearts to you, let Zara get attached, and now you're just going to fly back to San Francisco and forget all about us." "I won't forget," Selena cried. "I could never forget." "But you will leave," Eric stated, his voice weary. "You have an empire to run, and us? We're just an interesting chapter in the life of the billionaire Selena Brooks." Selena shook her head fiercely. "That's not true. You and Zara are the most important things to me." "Most important?" Eric laughed without humor. "Then why didn't you tell us the truth from the start?" "Because you knew we'd treat you differently. Because you enjoyed being loved for being an ordinary person. But you're not ordinary, Selena, and I can't live in that world of lies." Selena stood there as tears streamed down her face. She knew he was partly right. She had hidden the truth because she was afraid of losing these simple, beautiful moments. But she had also hidden it because she was afraid Eric would start to look at her with the same calculating eyes as everyone else who wanted something from her. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I never meant to hurt you or Zara." "But you did," Eric said. "And the worst part is, you made my daughter believe you were going to stay." Selena knew there was nothing more to say. She grabbed her bag and walked towards her Harley. "I'll transfer you the money for the bike repairs." "Don't," Eric cut her off. "You already paid." At the garage door, Selena turned back. "Eric, if I wasn't a CEO, if I was just Selena, would you?" "But you're not," Eric said, his voice flat. "And that's the problem." Selena rode away from Portland that night, her vision blurred by tears. For the first time, she truly understood what it meant to love someone more than success, more than money. And for the first time, she understood the profound pain that love could cause. 2 weeks later, Selena was back in San Francisco, but she was a changed woman. She sat in her 40th floor office staring out at the bay, but all she could see was the warm light of a small garage in Portland. Work continued, meetings, contracts, multi-million-dollar decisions, but it felt like she was living someone else's life. Tasha noticed the shift. "Selena, are you all right? You seem different." "Different how?" "Sad. Like you're missing something." Selena didn't reply. She couldn't explain that every night she dreamt of Zara's laughter and the gentle way Eric explained how an engine worked. She missed their simple, warm dinners. On a Tuesday afternoon, her phone rang. It was an unknown number from Oregon. Her heart hammered against her ribs as she answered. "Selena? This is Janice, from the coffee shop next to Eric's garage." The woman's voice was fraught with worry. "I got your number from a tip you left. Can you get to Portland?" "Zara's had an accident." Selena's blood ran cold. "What kind of accident? Is she okay?" "She fell off her bike." "It's a head injury. She's in a coma at OHSU hospital." "Eric? He's a wreck. He won't leave her side, won't eat. I think he needs you." Selena didn't need to hear another word. She canceled her meetings and booked the next flight to Portland. During the 2-hour flight, she prayed for Zara, for Eric, and for forgiveness for having left when they needed her most. At the hospital, she found Eric sitting vigil by Zara's bed. He looked gaunt and unshaven, his eyes bloodshot. Zara lay still, her head bandaged, surrounded by the steady beeping of machines. Eric looked up when he saw Selena, his expression one of shock, but he said nothing. "I came as soon as Janice called," Selena whispered, taking the chair next to him. "How is she?" "The doctors. They say she might need surgery." Eric's voice trembled. "My insurance won't cover it all. They want to move her to a public hospital, but it doesn't have the best neurology department." Selena was silent for a moment, then pulled out her phone. Tasha, I need you to wire $500,000 to Oregon Health and Science University Hospital immediately. The patient is Zara Daniels, and get the best neurology team in the country on her case. Eric grabbed her hand. Selena, I can't accept this. This isn't for you, Selena said, looking him directly in the eye. This is for Zara. She deserves the absolute best. Eric was silent, tears streaming down his face as he gripped her hand tighter. Why did you come back? Because I love her, Selena answered, the truth raw and clear. And because I love you. Because this family is the most important thing in my life. For the next 3 days, Selena did not leave the hospital. She slept in the uncomfortable chairs, ate from vending machines, and held Zara's hand, telling her stories about her travels, about oceans and mountains, and all the wonderful things waiting for her to see. Eric watched Selena, and in those moments he saw her true self. Not the powerful CEO, but a woman who knew how to love without condition. He saw her read to Zara in a gentle voice, carefully wipe his daughter's face with a damp cloth, and pray by her bedside. On Wednesday morning, Zara opened her eyes. Selena, she whispered weakly, you came back. Selena burst into tears. Sweetheart, I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. Eric stood beside them, crying as well. He knew then how wrong he had been. Selena hadn't come back out of guilt or obligation. She had come back for love, a love that needed no conditions and no explanations. A month later, Zara was fully recovered and home from the hospital. Selena was still in Portland, renting a small apartment near Eric's garage. She ran her company remotely, handling business through video calls and emails, but for the first time, work was not her priority. In the mornings, she took Zara to school and then went to the garage to help Eric. She learned how to change oil, check tires, and even fix minor issues. Did you know Selena's really good? Zara told Janice. She fixed Mrs. Peterson's car, and that one even made Daddy think for a long time. Eric smiled, watching Selena concentrate on an engine part, her hair pulled back, wearing an old t-shirt, her hands covered in grease. She had never looked happier. She's a fast learner, he told Zara. Does Daddy love Selena? Zara asked bluntly. Eric stopped what he was doing and looked at his daughter. Why do you ask that? Because Daddy smiles more when she's here. And you're not sad anymore like after Mommy died. Eric knelt and hugged Zara tightly. Would it bother you if Daddy loved someone besides Mommy? Zara shook her head. Mommy told me in a dream to take care of you. And now Selena takes care of you, so I don't have to worry anymore. That evening, Eric and Selena sat in the small backyard, gazing at the Portland sky. Selena, Eric began. Do you have any regrets about leaving everything in San Francisco? Selena took his hand. I didn't leave anything. I just brought the most important things here. My company will be fine. I promoted my COO to CEO. I'm just an advisor now. She turned to look at him. You know, my whole life I thought success was about having more. Now I know that real success is about knowing how to hold on to the right things. Eric smiled. So, what's the right thing for you? This family, Selena said without a second of hesitation. You and Zara. Morning breakfasts, afternoons in the garage, bedtime stories. I want to be Zara's mother. I want to grow old with you. Eric turned, looking deep into her eyes. Are you sure? This life is ordinary. It's nothing like your old world. That's exactly why I love it. Selena smiled. Will you have me, Eric Daniels? Instead of answering with words, Eric kissed her, a slow, tender kiss filled with love and promise. The next morning, Selena woke up in Eric's arms to the sound of Zara playing in the yard. She smiled, feeling a happiness she had never known. Her phone buzzed. It was Tasha from San Francisco, with news of a major deal. Selena glanced at the screen, then powered the phone off. "Not important?" Eric asked. "Nothing is more important than breakfast with my family," she replied, kissing his forehead. 6 months later, Eric and Selena had a small wedding in the garage, which they had decorated with string lights and wildflowers from the Oregon countryside. Zara was the flower girl, carrying a tiny bouquet. Janice baked the wedding cake. The guests were simply neighbors and loyal customers. There were no reporters, no celebrities, no lavish affair, just real love, genuine smiles, and true happiness. In her vows, Selena said, "I used to think I had to prove my worth through success. But Eric and Zara taught me that a person's true value is in their capacity to love and be loved." Today, I'm not just marrying the man I love. I'm joining a family that I will protect and cherish for the rest of my life. Eric held his wife's hand and looked at Zara's beaming face. He thought of Maya and whispered to the sky, "Don't worry. We're going to be happy." The Harley sat in the corner of the garage, now running as smoothly as the day it was made. Next to it were Zara's small bicycle and Eric's old pickup truck. 3 vehicles, 3 people, one whole family. Sometimes, the things we spend our lives searching for are found in the most ordinary of places. True love isn't proven by status or wealth, but by the courage to open your heart, to trust again, and to make the choice to stay.